On PC, you'll find a wide range of captivating survival games. And in this video, we will also show you the 10 best multiplayer survival games on PC in 2022. So without delay, let's get started. Number 1, we have Breakwaters. Building a base or gathering supplies to help you survive is possible on any of the game's several islands. Although there is a supernatural aspect, there is a lot going on here. Under the sea, there are gigantic giants that will try to wreak havoc on players if they are discovered. Because of this, any trip to a new island or out at sea is going to be a little nerve-wracking. Next up we have Raft. As a result of this surviving release, gamers must begin their trip adrift in the ocean. A raft is the first mode of transportation available to players, and they may use it to go to other islands. Experimentation is still a big part of the gameplay as players must outsmart sharks in order to make it to the other side of the ocean. Next up we have Dying Light 2. As far as multiplayer survival games go, Dying Light 2 is without a doubt one of the greatest out there. Although the game had a few issues when it was released, the multiplayer aspect of the game is still really enjoyable. Playing Dying Light 2 with a group of friends is an experience on par with the finest multiplayer experiences in any game, not just survival-themed ones. Number 4, we have Outward Definitive Edition. To survive in Outward, you'll need to eat, drink, and keep yourself physically fit. Without quick travel or quest markers or even your own position visible on your map, every expedition is a test of planning, perseverance, and survival in the dry deserts and swampy swampland. Next up we have DeadPoly. DeadPoly is a survival shooter featuring base construction and crafting. The only thing that matters is that you live. Everything else is purely optional. The game enables the building of cooperative internet servers where you and your friends may battle zombies and build a base. Friends can only engage with your base after you've claimed it first. There is no hard restriction on the number of players that may be on the server. Next up we have Longvinter. In order to better understand Longvinter Island, you have been given the task of visiting the island. At one of the numerous research stations dotted over the island, you begin your journey. Invest in new and better equipment in order to compete with your peers in the field of study. Next up we have This Means Warp. Fly alone or with a crew of up to 3 devoted coworkers and bravely venture where no one has gone before and live to tell the tale. Get new weapons and systems for your ship as you explore a randomly generated cosmos populated with progressively cranky and murderous opponents. Set off on a course across the constellations, but beware. The stakes are very high, and one false move might spell disaster. Next up we have Scrapnaut. Scrapnaut is a survival game for up to 4 players. Players in this top-down steampunk game must construct their own fortresses in order to remain alive and well. Bases must be supplied with power and housing, as well as oxygen and farmland for the players to thrive. If you're a fan of sim management games, this survival game is a must-have. Next up we have Grounded. Grounded is one of the most innovative survival games in recent memory. Players are dropped into a suburban backyard in this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids-style adventure. Being in a backyard isn't very threatening unless the participants find themselves reduced to minuscule proportions in some way. The last game of this video is V Rising. V Rising is a survival action hybrid that leans heavily on the gothic lens of vampire lore. When you're forced into the world as the single survivor, your coffin is stashed away deep inside the shadows of a forgotten cave. Your goal is to claw your way back to power. So that's the list of 10 best multiplayer survival games on PC that you can play in 2022. I'd appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel Games Puff if you found this video entertaining.